Welcome to Frank. Remember, to illustrate these videos, we're using sample company Jones Arc, a 10-staff company with over 3 years on the market and 2 ongoing projects. Meet the family. They'll show you how things work. Jones Arc already has a studio management plan with all features working. In this Play with Frank series, we're going to show you 9 videos to explain each feature. In today's video, we're going to learn how project financials work. The first thing you need to remember is that roles and positions go together. This means that depending on your role in the studio, you'll have a certain position, which grants you access to certain kind of information. Positions grant access based on classified information and security keys, so team members will typically not have access to financial information. Remember the 3 circles: administrative, management, and technical, and Frank is the glue that holds them together. Step 1 is to create a bill order. That's an optional thing. As a project manager, you need to let your accounting department know what can be invoiced of a certain project. Instead of sending emails or running down the office just to let your accounting department know they have permission to bill something, Frank quickly shows you who's requested an invoice and helps you keep track of that. Not being too complicated, it'll give you an idea of what hours are included, if you need to send files, and if you have any comments to be added. As a project manager, by confirming a bill order, you're approving the hours and notifying accounting and finance to issue the invoice to the client. So Frank becomes a useful communication resource to bridge between your technical staff and the project manager and your accounting and finance. As you can see here, the bill order will show as a pending to bill. This way, as a project manager, you know that this invoice has not been sent yet. Step 2 is to create the invoice. After being notified, the accounting and finance person will need to come all the way to the project and create the invoice. Beware that Frank is not an invoice creating software, so you will need to create your invoice in a separate software. Once the invoice is open, you can very easily add the dates, add the number, add a reference, and you'll later be able to add a file. So you create your invoices with QuickBooks or BillDesign or any other software, and then you can add your invoices to this platform. With the invoice already created in Frank, you now know this bill has been invoiced. And as a project manager, you'll see the status changed. Once the invoice has been added, you can also add a file, preferably a PDF type. Now, the invoice will remain available for everyone who has access to classified information. As you can see, the screen is black, and this tells you that this specific section handles sensitive information. Now, if you'd like to send this, just pick the client email, write a text, and send it as a standard email. As you saw in the previous video, this will add a log in the Communications tab and will be color-coded as a financial message, meaning the information it holds is classified. The beauty of this is that Sarah can immediately know that out of the fees, something has already been billed. Of course, she can also see the schedule and the remaining hours and the results so far, and also the deliverables that, as you know and saw in the last video, are already active. So how do we know when we got a payment? Accounting and finance can come and notify by adding a new payment. Once you receive a payment from a client, they can very easily add and link it to different invoices, should there be more than one open. When you hit save, the payment will automatically be paid to the amount stated on the invoice. Once the payment is recorded, it'll automatically modify the project dashboard. What this will do is provide project managers instant information about the financial status, thus giving them real-time data to manage their projects. Now, project expenses are added as easily. There's a preset number of accounts, and you can add a date, a value, description, and should there be a vendor and invoice number, you can also keep track of that there. Make sure you add a note that reminds you what this expense was about. As you start saving your expenses, they'll be added to the financial statement, which lets you and your project manager see direct costs, the costs that everyone needs to be managing with a very close eye. Once all these costs are assigned, through the financial summary, the project manager will be able to get instant insight on the net multiplier and the result that the project is providing so far. By accessing the final section, they'll look at all the information they need to have a better idea of the health of the project. They can later access the dashboard, which automatically reflects how the parameters are changing in real time. So you will be able to look at the net multiplier, as in the relationship between the direct cost and the revenue, and have an idea of how the project is doing. More importantly, they'll be able to access the details and understand what's going on with their project for a better management. They'll look at the billings, collections, expenses, the estimated hours, and the executed hours, so they have a full picture of the project financials. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll show you how marketing works.